to 3, the Millennial Watch. Such HD.
I don't pop Molly, I rock Tom Ford.
You really can't talk over the last line of that. That's why usually, like, as the song is starting to come to an end, then you start saying what it is, but you cannot cut the last line of the Jay-Z Tom Ford song where it says, I don't pop Molly, I rock Tom Ford, because no one else is going to say it as cool as he does, so you have to give him the credence to do so.
Exactly. And I mean, that gets you into also wanting to rock your own Tom Fords, I guess. Yeah?
Exactly. You got any Tom Ford, Mongezi Mtati, speaker, writer, and founder of WordStart? Any Tom Ford in the cupboard or?
No, I wish I did though. Hey, I wish I did. I'm going to listen to the Jay-Z track as many times as possible to visualize them.
I did the other day I went and I smelled like a Tom Ford fragrance, and those aren't fragrances, they're like $4,000, and I was like, I was never gonna buy it or anything because that's completely out of my league, but I was just curious what $4,000 could smell like. It didn't actually smell that great, so I felt a little bit better about this Tom Ford situation. But I mean
you must have totally just stuck that hand out when you were doing the tester so that your shirt doesn't touch it and nothing else, and everybody can smell the $4,000
absolutely
on you.
Absolutely. It doesn't smell great for $4,000 though, but that's a story for another day. Listen, it's so dope to have you, and like I said, you are a speaker, a writer, and the founder of WordStart. I guess the thing that really pops though when one reads through your bio is that you've been on this online digital thing for a lot longer than a lot of the naysayers who now have to get on that train have been. You've kind of been there from the beginning, really pushing digital, pushing online, and making an impact in those spaces.
I have. I mean, it kind of makes me feel a little bit old when you put it that way, but I have. I mean, there are things that we've done which I'm really excited about, and I'm excited that I'm happy that we had those experiences. A lot is happening in digital. Digital has changed hugely in the past 10 years, right? It's changed hugely in the past 2 years with the advent of Snapchat, the growth of WhatsApp, the fall of Mixit, the fall of BBM. A lot has happened, and we learn about it all the time ourselves.
And it's ever changing, but I mean, in the beginning, like, was it sort of awkward to be that guy saying, like, guys, this is the next big thing, to sit at tables and say, like, you're underestimating the power of this thing? I would say I was probably,
I mean, I was probably a black sheep in my family. I probably still am a little bit, except my mom now just wants to check out Facebook as well. So it's like, now it's becoming a little bit cooler to say, yeah, no, I've been doing this. It was, I mean, I remember in 2010, one of the first really, really big brands that we worked with on digital was Brand South Africa. It was during the World Cup, and it was sort of the first time that as a country at an international marketing level we were doing digital at that level, right? So and I was fortunate enough to be part of that, and I think that's where things started changing. Brands had been doing it, some smart brands had been doing it for about 2 years up to that point, but that's when at least for me, I started realizing that it's getting bigger and it's getting better. And I mean, with the World Cup, there was also a lot of international credibility and a lot of international mentions of the work that we were doing at the time, which in itself was hugely exciting. And by then I was probably playing with digital for about, call it 2 years perhaps, right? Because I really, really discovered things in around 2008. In 2008, after Twitter had been around for about a year and Facebook had been around also for a little bit over a year. So those two were competing, and brands hadn't really figured out what they were doing. So it was exciting then to start seeing this change, and that's really when the change started coming. I mean, by 2010, around some circles of people who had access to the internet, you were no longer this weirdo when you mentioned a blog, you know, and you know, you didn't have that many people saying, no, you added an L in that. Is that, are you saying the right thing? Yeah. It's like, yes, it's blog. It does have an L. Yeah.
It's crazy actually when you speak about the World Cup, like how far we've come in such a short space of time.
It's true.
Because I remember tweeting out on, like, first of all, I didn't even have a Twitter app. It was like I logged in on my Samsung D900i, which was like the slide up Samsung.
I remember. That was so cool back then.
It was, and actually it still holds a little bit of ground. Like, I still think it's cool. But it's insane how quickly something can take off, I guess.
Yes.
So we're hanging out with Mongezi. If you've got any questions around digital, around the web, around even starting a company, running a company, like anything, this guy is a total rock star. You can hit us up, Touch HD online across all platforms, or in the app you can ask a question. Other side of this, he's been in the game for a long time, but where does he see the game going to? We're going to turn him into a bit of a futurist. More with Mongezi. It's all on the way. Yeah, man, it is AK. It's called Kaifa's song on Touch HD. It is the Millennial Watch on the best day of the week. It's a Friday. There's like no reason to be like anything on a Friday. It's just a great day. And it's an even better day because we're about to find out what the future of the world looks like from Mongezi, who's a speaker, writer, and founder of WordStart. He's been in this online and web game for a very long time, as you heard a little bit before. Kind of since the beginning, but he's a guy that realized the power of this before I think a lot of people realized the power of it. People were still saying, oh no, but you can't replace a TV with anything. Or, oh no, we'll always listen to radio with the frequency and the tower. Like, you took this internet thing seriously.
In the beginning, yes. I mean, I must say that I also had like people advising and mentoring me at the time who themselves were active online. I mean, there's a guy by the name of Richard Mulholland who is and was my mentor a lot back then, and he was blogging then, you know, and I was like, what, you can put your stuff up online, you can write things and just put them on the internet. I want to do that. you know can I not just draw a cartoon of myself and just, you know, have myself all over, you know? So yes, there were people who had already been doing it who advised me to kind of take it on as well. So and at the time I did it because I think I started this whole thing because there was a need. I mean, I was starting a business, or at least I came out of a business that I'd started with a partner, and I wanted to kind of build my profile anew again. So then that's when I kind of started working and doing things online with a blog that I started for free on Blogspot. And now there are many such platforms like WordPress and many others where I wanted to market these small business networking events that I was doing at the time to build my own network first of all, and to help other young people like myself who want to build businesses and who need to connect with other young people. So that's where for me it all started. That there was a genuine need for it to start, and this was, I mean, long before the likes of Instagram, right? There was just blogging, there was Twitter, and it was funny what was happening on Twitter. It still kind of happens, but not as much. I mean, there was Twitter, there was Facebook as well. There was a platform called FriendFeed at the time, which was hugely replaced by Facebook. So again, it started this. So FriendFeed was this kind of sharing your posts and experiences with friends, right? Pretty much what Facebook put on steroids. So that's where it was, and the funny thing that was happening on Twitter at the time is nobody knew where this sort of SMS size message thing would go. So people were kind of just sharing things about their breakfast, and it was it was quite geeky at the time, in fact, to be on Twitter, because it was the hugely technical guys, hugely technical people, and a closed community who were kind of on Twitter at the time. It hadn't caught on, not as much as it has now.
But this is how all these things start. It's like people are anti it, and then before you know it, there's like some shift that happens, and suddenly everybody's on the train. So, like, how predictable is the space right now? When I joke and say, "Are you going to tell us what the future of it all looks like?" I mean, how much can we predict of what? Like, is Instagram going to continue to be massive? Will Facebook ever be in decline? Do Google run the world? Like, I don't know.
I mean, with the likes of so Google does run the world, and Facebook might be in decline, and Facebook is in some instances in decline in some ways, and we can kind of discuss that. But I believe that Facebook might be in decline, but the reason that they'll continue growing is because they continue acquiring everybody else and every other thing and plugging all these other things in. I mean, imagine being Facebook without Instagram, which was not too long ago, without WhatsApp, which was not too long ago, right? So, and then now you're Facebook with Instagram, with all that other extra data. So what can you do with that extra data? You know, can you predict what pair of jeans Arye will buy next week? And that's where the likes of Facebook will continue to get bigger. So they'll find other ways and other opportunities and other ways to connect with people, because what we realized is that there was a time when we wanted to connect with the world and the world was far from us, and then the world became closer. Now you can talk to Beyonce, right, on Facebook, or you can talk to whoever, whenever you want. And then we're shifting now from this mass communication. In fact, we shifted from mass communication to people wanting more and more custom experiences. So if Facebook customizes your experience more, why wouldn't they get bigger? Why wouldn't you use them even more? If their advertising is not intrusive, but it speaks to you. It speaks to the fact that you want to buy a car next week. It speaks to the fact that your baby's coming in a couple of months. It speaks to all of these things that are needs to you. Why would you then not use them? That's why these platforms acquire everybody else. That's why Google acquired YouTube, and Google acquired everybody else, and Microsoft acquired who did they acquire? They acquired
Nokia and all those.
Nokia, Skype, all of these platforms,
yeah.
right? That's why they acquire all these people, so that they have all this data and they're able to customize other products and other experiences around them.
Okay, now tell me this, because there was a couple of years ago, there was that movie with Will Smith, I, Robot, and
Yes.
I sat in that movie, and it seemed like the most far-fetched reality, and I was like, oh, this is totally, this will never happen. And then you speaking like this, and it's like data optimization and how much they know about you, and I see it. Like, I see that if I look at something on my web browser, all of a sudden it pops up as an opportunity to buy it in Facebook,
Yes.
and like I see it all the time. So
Yes.
my real question here is, how close are we to like a robot apocalypse and Facebook? Because Facebook even had a robot a couple of weeks ago
Yes.
that became smarter than Facebook, and they
Yes.
try to keep it under wraps. So,
Yes.
like, I mean, yeah.
So I would say that there's already artificial intelligence, and if we want to kind of predict where it's going to more to artificial intelligence. That's where it's kind of going. So Facebook itself, or a platform itself, being able to predict your next choice, being able to predict your next step, being able to predict these things. I mean, there's a story that was doing the rounds a long time ago where this couple who lived with their teenage daughter had a shared computer at home. So the husband goes onto the PC, and Facebook and other places keep showing them baby wear, nappies, and all of this. So the husband gets excited that, hey, maybe my wife's pregnant and it's going to be a surprise. And the wife gets a little bit worried that, hey, why is this thing showing me pregnancy stuff? Is my husband cheating? And it turned out that the daughter was pregnant, right?
Sure.
So it's becoming so if you look at that, and you look at this sort of our predictability as people, of course it's becoming, the web's becoming smarter in some ways. Yes, it will, I don't believe it will become smart to the detriment of people, because we all kind of want to be better people, all society wants to do better and better things, right? So there is that. But on the other side, there's also this reality that with artificial intelligence, machines will start getting smarter and smarter than humans, because they have all the human intelligence, plus they add on more. So it's like taking a 5-year-old who turns 21 in a day, who turns 30 in a week, right? So it's exactly that. And because of this smartness of machines and the smartness of the web, social media and social and digital will continue to get smarter.
Yeah, I like the part where you said it's not going to be to our detriment. Certainly, hopefully not in our lifetime.
There's always Batman, you know.
All right, we're hanging out with Mongezi. On the other side of this, we got to find out a little bit more about WordStart. We got to talk to you a little bit more about the other stuff that you're working on. We're hanging out with Mongezi. It is the Millennial Watch, weekdays 1 to 3. Just a reminder, YouTuber Sibu Mpanza is going to be here after 2 to co-host the final hour. We got that mix from Courtney Paul on the way. It is all on the way.
Missed the moment and want to listen to it again? Download the podcast on www.touch-hd.com.
Come on, she take all my sticker. Hey.
It is DJ Flex. It is Eggplant on Touch HD. That's the song where, like, the song's actually the emoji of an eggplant. So that's
Oh wow, that's doper than life.
emojis as song titles. That's where we're going. That's where
cool.
we're going.
That's very cool.
It's literally the.
I mean,
eggplant emoji.
if only I could convince my 4-year-old niece that that an eggplant was that cool, then we'd be away with eating vegetables.
No, but you know what the eggplant is symbolic of. Yep. Yeah. So there you go. She wants that, yeah, and then it's the whole. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, let's not go there. It's a family-friendly show, folks.
All right, we got to talk about WordStart, which you're the founder of. So talk to us about this, because we're huge fans of entrepreneurs and people with businesses. Because that's essentially what Touch HD is. It's a vision of someone. So tell us about WordStart.
So in a nutshell, WordStart started out as an influencer engagement agency. So with the advent and the growth of the web, we realized that people are more influential online than brands are offline. And brands kind of want to understand people and communicate with people at a level that people want to communicate at. So we then started connecting brands with influencers for them to interact and engage with these brands and products and share their thoughts and share their ideas around these brands and products, more so to involve people in brand marketing without it being in your face kind of brand marketing. So that's what we kind of started. That's how we kind of started to build these conversations and these experiences around and behind brands, for people to experience brands and talk about them as influencers and brand evangelists. That was.
And it's dope. And I mean, like, I'm a huge advocate of that too.
Sure.
And I just, what does advertising look like in this digital age? Because it seems like a lot of stuff has evolved, but advertising and the way people market products hasn't evolved as quickly as what sort of human beings have.
Sure. I mean, I think it looks like many ways. I mean, there's many ways that advertising kind of evolves and looks to us now. And one of the things is that you advertise everything is an ad now, but everything should not be an ad, because you get 3,000 bits of advertising just before you get to work every day, right? So it's really organic conversation. It's really taking care of people and looking after people as a brand. I think that's one of the key things, and it lives in the authenticity and the humanness of brands, because brands have always lived with people, but they've never acted like people in a natural and real way. So brands should live with people as, in a real way that people kind of live, as opposed to push themselves onto people, kind of thing. So how I kind of describe this is that brands are that guy who walks into a party dangling his keys, wanting to show you his fancy phone and his fancy clothes, like it's all about him, when it's not, so it's all about the people around you and how you make the people feel. And for me, that's how advertising looks. So get to the party and be part of it. Don't try to be the center of attention at the party. Nobody likes that guy.
We just have to thank Mongezi quickly for giving me the example that I'm going to jack and use it in every conversation with a brand. So thank you. You will hear that back at some point. There wasn't a copyright on that analogy. That's great. Oh, yeah, we like basically out of time. We got to land it though. What do you want the one big takeaway from today's conversation to be? Like, if you remember one thing out of our chat in the past half hour, what should it be?
Sure. I think it's that, in as much as you kind of want to push things, this is both for brands and people. In fact, that if you kind of want to push things and you want to make a change, do it out of a place of authenticity and realness and need. Don't do it out of a place of self benefit. It will benefit you in the long run, but do it out of a place of I think authenticity and need. I mean, that's how the web kind of worked for me, and that's how I discovered and worked a lot on the social web because there was a genuine need for it. Like, it wasn't because I wanted to talk about how awesome my breakfast was. It was because there was a genuine need for what I wanted to do. So yeah, do it out of a place of genuineness and realness. Be real. Yeah,
it's dope. Be real. It's great advice. Listen, thank you so much for stopping by. If people want to keep up with you all day, every day, which I would totally suggest, how do we find you on social media?
Sure. So it's on Twitter, it's at Mongezi. Online, it's mongezi.com. wordstart.co.za.
You see, that's how I know you were there from the beginning, because you got all those URLs and usernames. You're not like Mongezi39666147, because that's all that's left on Twitter.
1 to 3. The Millennial Watch. Touch HD.